I have a question for you. How long does it take you to track your business data? Now, how long does it take you to take action on what you've learned from your business data? Whatever your answers were, there is a very good chance that tracking your data and using the information from it is taking you way too much time. So in this video, we'll talk about the biggest time wasters when it comes to using your business data and what you can do instead. My name is Kari, and I help successful business owners with messy metrics clean them up so they have access to all of the numbers they need when they need them, and they can use them to grow their businesses faster and with less stress. The first time waster when it comes to using your business numbers is tracking data that you just don't need. If you haven't begun tracking your business numbers yet, don't worry. The beautiful thing is you can always start now. And in fact, it might even be easier than the alternative, which is tracking way too much data that you actually don't need. We have so much data about our businesses at our disposal. It's hard to be sure that you're tracking the right numbers that you actually need to make decisions to learn about your business. If this sounds familiar to you, here's what I would suggest. Look at each number or metric you're wanting to track and ask yourself, what am I learning from this data and what action will I take as a result? If there's no action to take from knowing what that number is, it's likely you don't need to be tracking it at all. So what should you be tracking? Your answer will likely be different depending on the type of business that you run. So for example, if you sell digital courses, some suggestions are visitors to your sales page, number of purchases, and average order value. If you have an e-commerce shop, you should know your cost of goods sold, your average order value, and your shop conversion rate. Or if you have a membership or subscription, keep an eye on your customer lifetime value, the number of new signups, and the total number of members or subscribers. If you're a service provider, you'll likely want to keep track of things like new leads, scheduled sales calls, number of new offers made, and the number of new clients that you've signed. This exercise will help you get clear on the numbers you really need to pay attention to make decisions. You can also check out the rest of the videos on my channel if you want to know which numbers you should track for your sales funnel, course, or membership. I have individual videos on each of those topics that can help. So what's the second way you might be wasting time with your numbers? Checking data on multiple platforms. How many pieces of software do you use on a regular basis for your business? Think about what you use to manage your website, your sales funnel, your shopping cart, your email list, your client calls, your appointments. There's a lot of things happening, right? All of these individual pieces of software have their own dashboard and their own system for collecting and measuring your data. And often there's discrepancies between what each of the different platforms say. So how do you know what's actually happening? Well, you can gather information from all of these separate sources, but that takes time. And not only does pulling it manually from each source eat up precious moments, but you also have to be really careful to bring that data together in a way that accurately reflects what's happening. You definitely don't want to merge the wrong things together and then draw faulty conclusions. Another challenge to overcome as you amalgamate all of this information is how to organize it and store it in a way that actually makes it usable. We waste so much time looking for files, folders, and information. And I know from experience how easy it is to create spreadsheets that are filled with numbers that never again see the light of day. So what's the alternative? Have all of your data in one place so that you can view your numbers all at one time. A custom data dashboard is the solution to this. With one dashboard, you only have to check one source for your business numbers. No more hopping from platform to software to tool. No more downloading CSV reports and combining them together manually. No more needing to find just the right sequence of filters to apply to your spreadsheet to pull that one number that you desperately need. Just one dashboard that gathers all of your numbers from all of those multiple locations and displays it in one place for you. I actually talk more about why having one dashboard is so valuable and is such a time saver in another video, so be sure to check that out if it's something that you think might be helpful for your business. And that brings us to the next time waster, which is plugging your numbers in manually. Talk about time consuming and tedious. I don't know one business owner who wants to spend another bit of their time doing this. Another drawback of manual data entry is that it's very prone to errors. Even if you're the best data entry clerk out there, it is really easy to slip up and type in the wrong number, put it into the wrong field, or pull the wrong number in the first place. So what's the solution for this manual data entry? Automation. Take yourself out of the equation every time that you can. This is one of the reasons that I take care of all of the background automations when getting clients set up with a numbers dashboard, as it's really, really important that the data is accurate and reliable, complete, timely, and relevant. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to know how a particular product funnel was performing in your business. So you pull up those numbers and you see that you have 1,000 people who visited your sales page, 100 people made it to your checkout, and 10 people purchased. That's a great jumping off point for understanding your conversion rates and really honing in on where you can make improvements to the funnel. But wait, what if that information wasn't actually accurate? What if each of those numbers were 10% off in either direction? How would that change the decisions that you make as you look at those conversion rates at each step of your funnel? Or what if they only represented 10% of the people who actually visited your site? How much would you be able to rely on those numbers for making decisions? Or what if the numbers were actually from 2 years ago and not from the past couple of weeks? Or what if they were for a funnel for a product that you're actually not even selling anymore? So you can see that without those characteristics, your numbers being accurate and reliable, complete, timely, and relevant, that your numbers become pretty meaningless and actually can do more harm than good because you're making decisions and taking action off of false information. I'm a firm believer that bad data is actually worse than no data. At least when you're not tracking anything, you know that you're not relying on your numbers. But if your numbers are completely incorrect and you're still using them to make decisions, there is no way that that turns out well. Not only does setting up automations for tracking your numbers increase the accuracy of your data, but setting up automated systems and processes for data tracking makes things so much more efficient and productive. I love working with numbers, and even I don't want to spend hours each week exporting separate CSV files and combing through data manually. Since I love efficiency, setting up a dashboard that can combine multiple sources of data is absolutely my go-to solution for answering questions about data in one convenient report. You can just open the dashboard and start reading what the numbers say. And remember, automation isn't just for checking your data. It's also a great idea for all of the workflows in your businesses. Onboarding clients, hiring team members, booking appointments. There are lots of opportunities to automate tasks for your business in order to free up more of your time. And last but not least, we come to the biggest time waster of all, not actually using the business data that you have collected. If you've ever tracked your numbers and failed to use them, I totally get it. We have been there, and it's actually very common. You may not be looking at your numbers because you feel overwhelmed, or maybe you're short on time, but fixing this is pretty simple. Once you're clear on what you're looking for and what you're tracking, make an appointment with yourself to look at those numbers on a regular basis. Try to view this appointment as non-negotiable. Try not to cancel or reschedule with yourself, and remember, set it as a recurring event. The more you get into a habit of using the data that you collect, the more you'll see your data as a valuable wealth of information. It gets easier to use your numbers over time too, as you start to see the trends that happen rather than just seeing specific numbers in isolation. So there you have it. The 4 biggest time wasters when tracking your business data are juggling data across different platforms, manually entering in all of your business numbers into a spreadsheet or other collection tool, collecting data you don't actually need, and failing to use your numbers that you collect to make decisions in your business. The solutions for all of these time wasters really boil down to 2 actions that you can take. The first is getting clear on what you want to learn about your business through your numbers, and second is streamlining your processes for tracking and managing all of this data. It's really that simple. And while having a custom dashboard can work wonders, you can click the link in the description box below to learn how I can help you with that. But I also encourage you to think about the data that you really need to make those decisions for your business first. From there, you can get better at using the data that you collect, hone in on your data tracking processes, and maybe even then invest in a dashboard. What do you struggle with when it comes to tracking your data? Are you unsure about the numbers you're tracking or think you should be tracking? Please drop your questions or thoughts in the comments below and I'd be happy to help. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos on data that are set to come. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.